Our port reporter, Mr. Instrumentalist, pays tribute to the mighty Texas Battleship, which is 100 years old.
We've all heard the saying, heroes come and heroes go away. Well, this month marks the 100th anniversary of a Texas legend, the Battleship Texas. And today, we're going aboard this marvel of engineering along with shipmaster Andy Smith.
Hello, I'm Andy Smith. I'm with Texas Parks and Wildlife, and I'm the ship manager for the Battleship Texas. Coming up May 18th, 2012, we'll be celebrating 100 years since the ship floated.
My name is Don Fisher. I'm a volunteer at the Battleship Texas. And on behalf of the First Texas Volunteers and Texas Parks and Wildlife, it's my privilege to welcome you to our hard hat tour today. What we're going to be doing for the next 3¼ hours or so are to explore all those areas on the ship that the general public does not get to see. We're going to go behind the cages and see all those spaces that everybody's been very curious about. The main gun magazines, the boiler room, dynamo rooms, and so forth. So we're going to have a lot of fun.
Kid you not. Adolf Hitler saved the Battleship Texas. Let me tell you how it happened. In June 1941, before the United States was involved in the war, the blockade of England was in effect by Germany. Germany had been at war with Britain since 1939. In the afternoon, Herbert Werner, who was a U-boat commander and the author of a book called Iron Coffins, it's his life story as a U-boat commander, one of the few who survived the war, was listening in on his radio. That afternoon, a message came through. U-203 have spotted American battleship USS Texas within our grid. Request permission to torpedo. Late that afternoon, orders came from Berlin, from the Fuhrer himself. Do not engage American battleship. We are not at war with the United States. He lived to regret it. This became the bombardment flagship during D-Day.
We're aboard the Battleship Texas. We're in the awards room. This is where the officers would have messed, had their dinner, and also relaxed. One of the really neat things we have aboard the ship is the ship's set of silver. Now this silver was given to the Battleship Texas by the state of Texas, and it was actually carried by a horse-drawn carriage to Galveston in 1914 and handed over to the ship in 1914 in Galveston. That was the only time during our active life that the Battleship Texas actually came to Texas. May 18th, 1912, this ship was launched, and we'll be holding a celebration on board on May 19th, Saturday, at 2 p.m. In 1914, she was commissioned as a U.S. Navy warship, and the new U.S. Navy typically considers the commissioning her true birthday. But we're going to celebrate on May 19th, 2012 at 2 p.m. on Saturday. We're going to celebrate her being in the water for 100 years, because on May 18th, 1912, she was launched and has been floating ever since, more or less.